and it's about 5:30, 5:45 maybe in the morning. I'm going to be taking a flight at 6:40 going from Long Beach to Sacramento. And I want to report, okay, I had another little incident with my disability accessibility. It's not a big one, but it's worth noting. Um, I took a regular taxi here with a very nice driver. And instead of calling like you can do, what I did was I just asked the taxi driver if he'd walk into the airport, which was just a little ways away, and asked them to please get a wheelchair for me, which he was nice enough to do, and he went in. But he was in there for a little bit, and then he came back and he had a wheelchair. And I said, "You're not supposed to bring me a wheelchair." And he said, "Well, they just told me that they don't start opening, they're not really open until another like 15 minutes or 10 minutes. And I was probably there, I'm going to say 5:15 maybe, like that. And I said, well, that doesn't make sense because they have to take care of me from, curb to the thing. And if they're running flights and being as early, I'm not that early, why wouldn't they have it? There's a disconnect here. But I didn't know the airport would be officially closed. And so I asked to speak to a supervisor, which is always a good thing to do. And she said, well, we don't do the wheelchair access. I said, but I thought each airline was supposed to be responsible, but they had contracted it out. All of the airlines here had contracted it out to the airport to give the service. And the airport, I guess, has an opening time. So I don't know how that goes around the Americans with Disability Act. But I mentioned it to her. I said, I think this is a little problem because what if I'd have been standing out there for 15 minutes because I couldn't self-identify? So whatever the answer to that's going to be, I'll get back. But what I think this tells you is, if you're going to fly really, really early, you really don't know about the airport opening, closing. Some of them, are small. They do open and close. You need to call the accessibility office and ask again before you do it and say, how early do I have to get there? Will they have wheelchair access? And then you'll know. We'll see how this goes.